Hello, everyone. I am Lily Mae, creator of the Glambitious brand, and welcome to another episode of Glambitious Talk. As you know, I created this platform to connect you with dynamic women entrepreneurs from around the globe, and today is no different. If this is your first time tuning in, head over to theglamceo.com to check out the opportunities we have to advance your business through marketing, interviews, live event experiences like at Essence Festival every summer. We have so many things that are going to help advance your visibility, so make sure you join the email list at theglamceo.com. Now, Miss Tara, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about who you are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tara True Russell. Most people do refer to me as True. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And I am a media and marketing company business owner here in the DMV, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I am a Jane of many things. What is it? A Jane of all trades and a master of many. So let me run down the list really quickly. I am a two-time Amazon best-selling author. I am the founder of Power Players Media, where we produce podcasts. I also have my own podcast, and I own a marketing company where we help entrepreneurs with their social media content and visibility online. I am also the founder of the Mind, Body, and Entrepreneurship Festival that is held every October here in the Maryland area, and Mind, Body, and Entrepreneurship, shortly known as the MBE Festival.
Yes. And so I love the idea of mind, body, and entrepreneurship because entrepreneurship, it takes a toll on all of those things, right? Like everyone thinks it's, so exciting and it's so amazing to have all this freedom as an entrepreneur, not realizing the toll that it can take on your mind and your body. So what inspired you to put this festival together?
Honestly, the inspiration came from I'm a learner. I'm a soaker of information. I love going to conferences, but I realized that every conference I went to, by the time I left, I was tired. I was drained. I did not feel energized to actually implement the things that I had learned. And a lot of times, and I feel like that happens for a lot of people. So, I'm thinking I wanted to do my own conference, and I'm like, okay, my conference has to be different. I don't do anything that is like someone else's, right? So I'm trying to think outside the box, and I'm like, what can I do to make my conference not feel like a conference? And because I love conferences, and then I also love festivals, I was like, I wonder if I could marry the two and make it an environment where you still get the knowledge, you still get the information, you get the takeaways, but you're energized while you're in that environment, So at my festival, we have live music, we have food trucks, we have vendors, so a curated marketplace that speaks to those three pillars of mind, body, and entrepreneurship. Then I bring in speakers that also speak to those pillars. So there are three different sets of speakers that all focus on either mind, body, or entrepreneurship. It is not a sit down, come dressed in your professional attire. No, we're going to walk around. We're going to talk to folks. This year we're having an AI scavenger hunt during the festival. We have headshots on site. This year we're going to have someone on site building websites. So you are really there to get as much information as you can. We try to make it a one-stop shop for all business owners. And again, have you leaving excited and energized and ready to implement the things that you've learned at the festival.
I love that because I'm a person that really likes things that are interactive, that keep me engaged, that keep me excited. And sometimes just sitting and listening to people talk in a small room, I kind of tap out a little bit.
Yes, I think we all do. Yep.
Yeah, I love this. This sounds like something you should actually probably take on the road to different cities as well. Have you thought about that maybe in the future?
I have. That is built into my 7-year plan. And one of the things that also makes my festival different is that I try to tailor it, or we try to market to the underdog, right? We try to market to the business owners that either don't know that these resources are out here, because I bring in local government officials, we bring in the Chamber of Commerce, we bring in a lot of resources as well to be at the festival. So entrepreneurs, and just people who are attending, they understand what's available to them as a business owner, because a lot of people don't know. So my goal with taking the festival on the road is to take them to places where there's not a lot of things already happening, if that makes sense. So, some of the smaller cities in maybe some of the bigger states. Like I do want to go to Georgia, but it won't be in Atlanta. It'll be maybe Atlanta's cousin, or, somewhere where there's not so much happening already, because we want to make sure we're reaching the people who really need the information and the resources.
Yeah, I love that, because there are a lot of underserved pockets of, communities around the country that get missed because everyone wants to go to Atlanta,
Exactly.
DC, New York, Miami, LA. Well, what about all of the other cities with all of the other women, that need to be served? So I love that strategy. Now, when we were, before we got started, you also mentioned, how can people register for this? Before I ask you the next question, how can they register and, get connected, involved? I don't know if you have vendor opportunities still open or anything like that. Let us know that information.
Yes, we are still full-fledged planning. The website is www.mbe.com or mbefest.com, and that's M as in mind, B as in body, E as in entrepreneurship. So mbefest.com. All the information is on the website. We do still have availability for vendors, and we still do have availability for one or two more speakers, actually. But yeah, we would love. Tickets go on sale next week, so we're excited about that. And again, everything you need is in here. We are a one-stop shop for all business owners. And if you are a college student, that's one of the things I did forget to mention. We do partner with some of the local universities, and we invite their college students that are maybe in the entrepreneurship program, or any of those things, that want to come to the festival, because then they can find a mentor, they may can find intern opportunities. So we really try to foster that as well.
I love that. And you also mentioned, like I said, when we were talking beforehand, that you have a podcast. So tell me about your podcast.
Sure. So my podcast, it's a little bit more on the fun side. So I do have two that I do. I have the Hard-Headed Entrepreneur, which is a more business focused talk show podcast. And then I have the fun one. And all of our podcasts are done visually. So you actually see us as we're going through our show. My secondary podcast is the one that I do with my co-host. It was three of us at one point. We were called Three the Hard Way. And it was three generational people with three generational opinions about modern day topics. So, you kind of got a chance to hear from your 20-year-old, your 30-year-old, and your 40-year-old during that show.
Awesome. Podcasting is very popular now. And so I think it's wonderful that we get to all share our voices and really, really inspire and encourage each other, as it relates to entrepreneurship and encouraging a woman. What would you, tell a woman right now as it's related to thriving in entrepreneurship, even during uncertainty?
So I would say, do it scared. Do it scared, do it unapologetically, do it even if it doesn't feel right, it's uncomfortable, it doesn't make sense. Do it, because you will regret not doing it. A lot of times we overthink things. Everything has to be perfect. It has to be aligned. Somebody has to validate the idea. You cannot wait for any of those things, because that validation has to come within you. And again, even if it doesn't feel right or it doesn't make sense, a lot of times, and I don't know how many people are faith-based out here, but a lot of times we don't see the next steps. We don't see what's behind the door because it's not meant for us to see yet. So, but if it is on you to do and you feel very strong in doing it, do it anyway. So that's my motto. I don't think, I just do. So I live a very YOLO life, good, bad, or indifferent. And I think that's how we do need to leave. Obviously, it needs to make some bit of a sense. You're not just out here just really jumping out, kind of half-cocked and crazy, but you do have to, take the leap and just do it.
Yes, I agree, because I know that during times of uncertainty, it can actually make people step back or second guess themselves or feel discouraged about launching something, or we mentioned podcasting, and they may feel like, oh, well, everyone has a podcast. Why should I start a podcast? Like there's so many thoughts that come in your head as a creative or entrepreneur to stifle you from moving forward. So I do like the mentality of just do it, just try it. Like your voice needs to be heard. There's purpose on your life. Your personality is different from the hundreds of other people who are, on their platform. And you have to trust that. You have to trust that there's something special about you that deserves to be heard and seen. So what's next for you in 2025 and beyond?
So 2025, I am streamlining my my media company. We just soft launched our women in sports sector for the media company. So we will have a channel and actually be out in the community focusing on women's sports. And only women's sports. I feel I'm a sports player from way, way, way back in the day. So I've always felt strong about the lack of visibility with women's sports. So, we've launched that. So that'll be full steam ahead for the rest of this year and next year. And then we are planning the rest of 25 for the festival of this year, and then also 2026 festival.
I love it. So many exciting things coming up. And I love that, you're using your platform to help other women with their mind, body, and entrepreneurship. I think that entrepreneurship is definitely a tool for us to maintain a level of financial security and freedom for ourselves, no matter what goes on in the job market. Because I think I read somewhere that like thousands of Black women were laid off this year or something to that nature. And so even if you are a working professional, having a business on the side, having a business part-time or on the weekends, I think is something we should all have in place to just keep a little extra residual income coming in to, stabilize us during these uncertain times. Is there anything else you would want people to know about you or your business and brand?
I am here and I am a resource for all business owners. So reach out to me if you have questions. I like to lend myself best I can to help others. I have a servant heart. So I'm always available just for questions, brainstorming sessions. I do that with a couple of folks. They'll ask, hey, can you just sit and just kind of talk this through with me? And I happily do so. So I'm available if you want to reach out to me. I am True Creative Consulting on Instagram, Power Players Media on Instagram, She Sports Nation. That is the new sector of female sports that we are launching. And then Mind Body or MBE Fest as well on Instagram.
Awesome. So if you're tuned in, make sure you stay connected with her on all of those channels, and make sure you head over to mbefest.com to check out the festival, because it sounds like a grand time. And I think that most entrepreneurs are probably a little burnt out and need to come together in a space that's going to feed their mind and feed their body and feed their spirit. So listen, entrepreneurs, you deserve a break. You deserve a fun, good time to relax, relate, release. So go ahead and get a ticket by visiting mbefest.com. And again, if this is your first time tuning in to the Glambitious Talk platform, this is a space for women around the world to connect, to learn about each other, to support each other, to inspire and empower each other. And you can also follow me on Instagram at I am Lily May. So thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Glambitious Talk.